Alright, hey there, Darkstar here. I think we're finally here. OBS wouldn't connect to the stream for some reason. So this is the final installment for now of Try All the Planes. Now I'm down to third-party planes, or I have a couple of free planes and a few marketplace planes. Just thought I'd run through them like I did the others. Okay, so let's see what's coming up. Now these I pre-rated on the description, so that's already done. Now I'll try and talk a little bit about why as we go through. Okay, I need to get the list up here, and I need to get the chat up. And I need to get the sound going to the right place. There we go. Mucho better. Okay, so the first free plane is the Bombardier Global 6000. I got this one, but it's got a couple of different liveries you can pick. So we'll do the NASA Vomit Comet livery. The 0G flights. So I gave this one 2 stars because, as we will see momentarily, you get what you pay for, right? It flies, and that's about all the more you can say for it. Let's fly over to here, I guess. No, we want to go this way. I think we're still on good weather, right? Yeah, it looks like. Okay. It does work, and I appreciate it for what it is. It is fantastic for free. I haven't done any serious flights with it. I should probably try and do some, but I'm hoping to get a better one at some point in the game. But it's free, it works, it's there. It has kind of like Garmin avionics with some weird variations.
Agani Tower, Summit Delta Sierra Charlie 66, ready for east departure at runway 6 left.
And the rest of it looks like this. Like stubbed out, like almost hexagonal in some cases. It's got a few switches that work. Right, like all this is stubbed out. You know, fair, right? Again, free. What's there sort of works. It's got your basic, kind of like a Garmin 3000 with this extra map thing. Little laggy there. But like, you know, very stubbed out. I'm guessing somebody thought maybe they would come back and work on it some more. But whatever, right? It's free. It's got your basic, you know, autopilot panel here, and it works. I don't know how close to an actual Bombardier it flies, but or if it like has the 6,000 nautical mile range or any of that. But I took it for a basic test flight. See, did we get the parking brake off? Yes, we did. And we're rolling. Has some sounds. Oh, you know, one thing we might need to do is I turned on headphone simulation. There we go. Okay, gear up. Throttle it back so we don't get going too fast here. I think you could pop out the panels even, yeah. Okay, let's go a little more flaps. Go ahead and get geared down. See, we do have spoilers. There we go. You know, for a basic model, it works. For free, I would probably give it like, I don't know, 3 or 4 stars. It's pretty light on the system side, right? Like I said, I haven't even tested fuel consumption or anything. I probably should. But I did not give it 1 star because it is functional. I think I would say 1 star for a plane that literally doesn't work at all. And I was pleasantly surprised with the overall packages. I thought we would find more kind of non-functional planes. I'm not even sure the one I couldn't get to work wasn't somewhat my fault. Slow here. Can't remember if it has auto throttle or not. Let's see if we autopilot, auto throttle. It does not have any auto throttle. Also, we've got full flaps out right now and no indication of flap overspeed on the speed tape. That would be nice to have. I always forget you can't have your cursor inside those windows. They need to fix that. It flies pretty well. Say, oh, getting a little fast now as we're descending here. Move very long runway, so we'll just overshoot here a little. I don't know what approaches it will fly or how solid the navigational database is. Why are we so far over to the left? Okay, here we go. Do we have reverse? We do. So, you know, it's free. You can go download it and give it a shot. See what you think. All right, next up is one that is also free. Links are in the description. The Cessna 206 Stationair here. And someone put a lot of work into this one. So it has floats, I think Tundra tires, and I think regular tires. Yeah. And then within that, I think you have a couple liveries, yeah. So I saw this one on an AV Angel stream. Her channel's a lot of fun. And she reviews a lot more planes than I will, because I'm not making any money on this at all. Just doing it for my own entertainment, really. But yeah, it's really good for a free plane. That's why I gave it 4.5 stars.
Agania Tower, Summit Delta Sierra Charlie 66, ready for departure to the east at runway 6 left.
Very throaty sounds. We've got the cup. It comes with an EFB sort of thing. So you can deal with the doors. You can remove seats in the back. So like, let's put the seats in. So there's the seats. Dynamically reconfigures the plane. Like, it's got a belly pod you can put on, the beverage container. You can open the windows from here even. You can show a co-pilot model or not. So that works. That's config. Then under engine, you can see engine data, and it has stress values. And like if we go over cylinder head temperature of 400 or turbo inlet temperature over 1675, we'll start cranking up, or these other ones. So these, you'll see the stress values here, and you could just reset them. So, but it can kind of, help you fly more realistically if that's what you want. And the best part, I thought, is it has instruments and saved presets. So I can like click this and go to that preset. Alright. Or I can go to this one. This is kind of my, you've got a little of everything preset. And then it's got the, like a couple of presets. Like if you want no GPS, there, now you have no GPS. You can kind of reorder things here. You can click them on or off, and you can move them as to be on the secondary column, which would be like this. So like if I want, I wish you could move a few more over to the right, but you can select one of these to move to the right if you wanted. Like your ADF can go over on the right, or you can move it back onto the left here. And like if you want, you could throw your map up over there, if that's what you want. And then you can save it as a preset. I wish more planes offered such things. Okay. Let's go ahead and get the parking brake off. So, you know, Cessna setup. Let's get our frequencies in here. We are 1013. And we'll put it on both so we can see what's working, what's not. You can have this kind of autopilot if you want it. You don't have to have an autopilot at all, or you can have it and opt to not use it. If I had any complaint about it, it's a little shiny, right? On some of these, it's kind of nice to have the, hey, this is a real old looking plane, it's all scratched up and all that kind of stuff. I'm hoping we'll get a glide slope on here. And I was trying to see, I think we do, yeah. Yeah, so it has DME. So it should have everything we need for proper ILS approaches and everything. I believe that in this particular plane you don't tend to use flaps for a normal takeoff, so we're going to proceed without them. And let's come around and see if we can fly something of an ILS approach here. Ish. And of course we don't want our temps to get too hot here, so I'm going full out for now. And as the temps start coming up, we'll want to throttle back. There we go. And we'll pull our RPMs back into the green. We'll see if we can get through this without any engine damage here. Oh, we got a little ding on our engine RPMs, so all right. So we're going to get our courses in here. 65. DME looks to be working. And there's a glide slope. So with our CDI with glide slope and DME, we should be good. So I think this would become my go-to plane for basic plane flying. Glide slope, DME. throttle back, get the needle in the white, get our first notch of flaps down. Okay, and then we're gonna make a left turn to base. Start a descent, maybe not that steep. Alright, we got our flaps out. We're gonna lose a little more airspeed here. Then we're going to intercept our glide slope here. I want to keep going this way to intercept the localizer. There we go. Turn to about 6.5, we hope. Okay, and then we want our vertical speed to be about 400. So we're going a little below the glide slope, so I'm adding some power. Just briefly. There we go. We're a little low again. We're a little light on the, we're going to miss our mark here, but I clearly have not flown this enough. The sounds are a little off, I think, from the throttle. I think they could be a little more responsive to the throttle changes. There we go. And that is a free plane. Really couldn't ask for much better for free. I did only give it 4.5 stars because there are a few things that, I don't know, would be nice if it were different. A little more aged look, a little bit more sound related to throttle. But, I mean, I love it. I'm a big fan. Very well done. Speaking of Cessnas, there's the, nope, that's not. Next up is the BN2. So the BN2 comes in some different flavors. There's kind of like the, this is like the long nose one. I'm not sure what this is. It has a little Rudolph cover on his nose there, and then a couple of variations here. I'm not sure why there's so many, and they're not just variants, but maybe this is passenger and this says cargo, but let's see what's in the configurator. But these did all come together. I think it'd be nicer if they were just variants within here. But they're not, so it's okay. I had some problems with it initially. Oh, and this is a paid plane. I got so all the rest of these are off the marketplace. So the Britten Norman BN2 Islander. So we'll fly that one next. It is not, however, a float plane. It is not a fast plane. A twin prop. Oh, so like I was saying, I had a few minor problems with it originally. They did put out a patch, so those got fixed. There was this horrible ticking noise, and there was no way to make it stop. It would just go tick, 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 tick. I think it was the microphone. There's kind of a cool physics effect where a microphone cord hanging down, like, you know, sways around as you move the plane. So we'll see it here in a second.
Agania Tower, Summit Delta Sierra,
Right here.
Charlie 6 ready at runway 6 left, east departure.
Okay, that's nav 2. Nav 1 is going to be up here. Okay, we've heard it. Now let's put on our headphones. I wonder if is there a control for that? Headphones. Why is this so slow? Like, aren't they loaded for? Like, why? What is it doing? Headset. Please tell me there's a way to flip on a headset. Oh man. There needs to be. And it seems to be ignoring that setting. We did get it on, right? Sound, headphone simulation, yeah. I don't know, maybe it's quieter. We can... Hopefully it's okay. So yeah, your basic mixture, propeller RPMs, throttles, you know, pretty basic layout. There's a few things up here, your starters up here. Flap indicator, the main fuel valves. So this is another one where you kind of want to watch your engines. Okay, let's watch. we get both of these on 65? We did. So manifold pressure here. Fuel flow. RPM port and starboard. So far I do not see any glide slope coming up. So we got 1103 and 1103, so those are there. All right, there we go. We got glide slope now. So that's working. We have DME here, so automatic direction finder, basic autopilot. So had some fun flying this one out in the islands. I'd say it's kind of similar to, but maybe not as beefy as a Twin Otter. But I had some fun flying it. So I would expect that we are below the glide slope now. Although we're pretty high, maybe we're just over 1500, so maybe that's the problem, but there we go, there comes a glide slope. Now, why they're not the same, I don't know. So I want to about hold this altitude, slow it down, we get some flaps out now. We're fixed gear, so we're going to add some power. We're almost up to the glide slope, and then we can start our descent. There we go. Way too fast. It's a lot heavier than smaller planes, that's for sure. Okay, a little below the glide slope. I think I've mostly got it trimmed out now. In these kind of planes, the important thing to learn is like what's the manifold pressure for the fuel flow for the effect that you're trying to get. Because you get it to where, like, if you know the exact fuel flow on a typical approach, you could just set it to that and get everything trimmed up and then fly that approach. And just, you know, little adjustments to stay on the glide slope, right? Okay, we're a little low because I was talking and not paying attention. But other than being pretty heavy and a little slow to respond, as expected for what it is, it flies pretty well. And you do have reverse. Maybe not. Actually, no, you don't have reverse. Ignore me. It does not have reverse. Twin Otter does. That one does not. But it can still, I mean, it, like, we barely used any of the runway once we touched down. Anyway, fun plane. Now we're back to the Cessna 182, which is the retractable gear version of that plane, the RG. What sucks is I need to go load every single plane again once I get my program working. I'm writing a program that'll get all of the sim bars that I want out of the sim when you ping it. So I want to do that and have it log information about all the planes, and just I'll have to go through and load every single plane.
Agania Tower, Summit Delta Sierra Charlie 66, ready for departure to the east at runway 6 left.
Okay, we have headset on, which is why we're not hearing anything. This one is working with headset, so let's turn that off. Again, need a keyboard mapping for that one, or a binding. There we go. I haven't done it generally because I'm lazy, but let's do what would normally be a run-up in one of these planes. I don't remember all of the details, but I think you put it up around 1500 RPM. So there's our 1500 RPM, about there. And then we want to turn off the mags and make sure that we see an RPM drop when we do. So this is left only. So we see a little bit of a drop, not too much. So that's back to both. And then we want to go right only. That's I clicked too far and turned it off. So that's right only. And then back to both on. So they are modeling the effect of turning the mags on and off on the RPM. I think you do that to verify that you can turn the mags off to make sure they're both working properly. Lights, beacon, nav. Okay, I'm thinking this one's missing DME, but of course with a GPS you don't need it. And I don't think this one has any options on. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. I've never seen this before. Just for grounds, if we turn this off. Can we put a tow bar on? Nice. Hook up external power. Ah, look, there's a little generator. How do we use external power? Is it automatic or do we have to turn it on? That's the avionics master. I'll have to play with it later. Static elements? Okay, yeah, that's what I was guessing. So like the cones, cover, pitot cover, engine covers. Pilot door, open, close, co-pilot door, open, close, baggage door, open, close. There it is. Aha! We do not have the 750XI. Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's a third-party add-on. The 750 we cannot turn on either. Get it from here. Get it from here. Okay, I don't really want one. Okay, so we can do all that. Checklists. The simplified version. Well, that's pretty cool that it has tow bar and external power at the very least. Hopefully they'll upgrade it to the 2024 versions to integrate the walk around and get it enabled in career mode. I did not know we had a tablet, but what I wish is, like the other one, we could reconfigure the panel a little bit, like, you know, all steam gauges or go here. So in this one though, I do not see, I mean, I think with the GPS you can fly ILS approaches, but I would like to have VOR with glide slope. This has just CDI, no glide slope, and DME equipment. And like, hey, if you want to flip a G3000 up here on the console, I don't have a problem with that. Like I like flying the 172 with glass cockpit. It's not bad. All right, well, let's get started. Okay, we got fuel flow. Oh, you see what this is doing? I need to flip my switch here. So I think the main thing that distinguishes this one really is with the retractable gear. I think it's a good trainer for complex aircraft. Let's go ahead and get in our frequencies. We've already got it in that one, but okay. All right, and now we go gear up. Pulls up into the body. Guess we can put our steering wheels back in, our yokes. I need to play around with this a little more and see if it has a glide slope. I know it has the course indicator here. Is there any mode where this will show you where you are on the glide slope? So that's GPS course, and then that would be our tuned VOR course. I guess we're on our own. That's a gear reminder if you throttle down too much. I'll go ahead and go gear down, 1 notch of flaps. Notch of flaps. Full RPM on the prop. Gear lights down, are green. According to the paddy lights, we're a little low. So I'll add a little power for a minute. Okay, gear is down. Our not gonna scrape the belly like I did before. I'm way too high though. I've confused the view of this runway with so many different planes. I never know how high I am. I think it'd be better in VR. Just can't really get VR to work very well. So this is the first plane I flew on VATSIM. I did a VFR flight in this one. All right, next one we have to go over to the Air Force Base here. We can't. For we are going to fly the Hawk T1. And I am not very good at this plane yet. I've only done a couple of little test flights so far. It does seem pretty fun though. What I do is
Anderson Tower, Summit Delta Sierra Charlie 66, ready for departure to the east at runway 6 right.
So there's a whole bunch of stuff here. I don't know what all you would do. I mean, these are pretty obvious. I mean, you can load up different armaments and stuff, I guess. We are single engine. Gear up goes pretty fast. I guess we don't have any smoke. Probably still going too fast to land here. Let's see if we can come around on the other runway. Speeds here. I think we want to hold about 150 knots. On this same runway. We might have reverse, I'm not sure. Nope, doesn't seem to. Lot to learn about this one. I don't know why we don't have a proper HUD. Maybe there's a mode with a HUD or something. We've got this sort of Garmin-like GPS. Not sure what that is. Probably just something to make it work. Yeah, it's like the same Garmin that's in, or pseudo Garmin, that's like in the gliders and stuff too. Yeah. Yeah, it kind of works just like the one in that. Not sure how to get out of here. Return probably. It's got Navigaps and brief integration. Nice. Who knows what all you'd find in here. It's kind of funny to have a Garmin in a military jet. If you want to haul arse and get really bad gas mileage, that's the way to do it. Next is one I've flown a lot. I haven't flown it a lot recently. It's the Kodiak, and why is it only... Oh, maybe they... You know, they patched something, and I'm not sure how it changed things. But let's go into the configure. I think I didn't do on the Hawk, sorry. You've got different ones, including now, you have to purchase it separately, but the amphibious Kodiak is in here too. And then it's a little hard to see, but these have pods on the bottom. And these ones don't. And then this one has Tundra tires, regular tires, Tundra tires and cargo pod, regular tires and cargo pod, and this one has the floats. And then it comes with a few different liveries, which also somehow changed the interior models. Like it's got a lot of different ones, but some are cargo, some are skydive. I don't know, Timberline interior, Summit interior, whatever those are. Yeah. I've rated this one 5-star. I don't give a lot of them 5-star. My only issue I've had with this one that I would warn about is that if you set it on fire, and there's a couple of different ways to do it. I did it first by flying it upside down. It apparently doesn't like that. It marks the engine as destroyed, and it saves it in a config file, and the only way I know to reset that config file is to go find it and edit it.
Agana Tower, Summit Delta Sierra.
So let's see, is headset on? Let's turn headset on and see if the sound's any different.
Charlie 6-6 ready at runway 6 left, departure to the east.
I don't know. I don't think the headset's doing anything in this one. So it does have the Garmin avionics, so you know it's all glass. You've got main switches here, starting, generator, alternator. You do have, one thing I like about it is it's got some ice protection. So in addition to pitot heats, of which there are 2, you have the inertial separator, you have the windshield, and then the airframe. So it's going to beep if you turn on airframe and you don't turn on the inertial separator. So you want to turn those on together. However, you can turn on the inertial separator by itself. And I think you're definitely supposed to do that. Like as you're coming in low, especially if you're landing on dirt or grass runways. Not sure what all the rules around that are, but you might want to look into that. But generally, it's these 3. Like, you turn that on, and you're good. And then when you're done, you turn them off. And sometimes when I'm landing, I'll turn this on or off. Your basic lights across the top. You know, flaps. Condition lever because it's turboprop. Prop pitch. And you do want to watch your ITTs and other things when you're flying. You don't want to go max out all the time. You have an oxygen option that would turn on the oxygen mask because it is not a pressurized cabin, but it can fly pretty high with oxygen. What else? Fuel shut off overhead, and also before you take off, technically you should lock the harness. So you should push that forward, lock your harness, and then when you're in the air or whatever, you can unlock it. And there's one on both sides. So lock that guy in. I think you can turn him off by clicking on the, you can turn your pilot on or off. Clicking on the fire extinguisher. The doors work. They open a little too wide. There we go. You got the little, they call it a storm window, a document window, a window for yelling clear prop out. You have, in the real plane, these are very configurable, so you can take things in and out. You take these seats out real easily, and you can kind of open this. So you can put the armrests up. I don't know what all I can do. I don't think I found an EFB or anything in this one that you can control things with. And I kind of wish it had an external power option. It doesn't seem to, that I've been able to find. But it does fly real well and everything. Alright, let's get into the air maybe. Now watch me embarrass myself. On several of these that I've been like, this is my favorite plane, I fly it all the time, and then I can't fly or land or whatever. So you can see I'm flying terribly. Why am I going back and forth? Because I'm trying to fly one-handed. You can see I'm over torque there, so I'm trying to pull the torque back. I don't want my ITT to get too high. And I didn't set my flaps or anything, so it's all on me. This is one thing that doesn't work very well in this plane, I will say. The EFB integration is not there yet. I do think the headset thing is working though, because it's pretty quiet. Normally it's pretty loud. Alright, I'm going to try and set autopilot here. So let's just go heading mode. Let's set an altitude of 2,500 feet. We will go flight level change. Okay, we are... Sorry, that got loud. We're fixed gear, so no gear to get up or put down. Just flaps to deal with. Alright, let's get that climb going here with some extra power. So it should pitch to maintain our selected 130 knots. And then what we want to do is say procedure. So we want to go down to approach. And we want to say, what do we want? 6 left. And we want obli, obale. And we can set our minimums. And we could say activate. Sure, we'll say activate. But we're not going to fly that way yet. But we do want to turn left a little here. Pull out some power here before we get over speed. Does not have auto throttle. There's a manual throttle here. It does have a reverser. No spoilers. So on our flight plan here, we can see our planned altitudes, right? So at Obail, it'd be 3,000 feet. There's a hold there that we don't want to do, and then Harlow would be 2,000 feet. And then that's our final approach fix, and then we're down to the runway. So we want to zoom out a little bit. And then let's go into our flight plan. Here, right click that, go down to this hold, and do a clear, enter. And now that hold is gone. Let's turn left a little more. Maybe like 260-ish. I mean, sorry, 240. We're at 260. And once we get out here about even with Obail, we will direct to Obail, and then we'll get on our flight path. So we actually want to be 3,000 here, so let's go ahead and do flight level change, and now we're going to dial this back a little bit so that we'll climb. If you set your airspeed, climb speed to your current cruise speed, you don't really climb very much. You have to either add power or lower the speed, of course. Okay, and we are just about even with it. You can right click this and kind of move with your cursor and zoom around a little. Okay, direct to, activate, enter, and then nav mode. Good bit faster than little baby Cessnas. Also has a weather radar. You got your climate control here, if you wanted to play with it. Let's take just a little bit of power out. We want to dial our altitude down to 2,000. I want to enable VNAV mode. Our top of descent is right here. Pull a little bit more power out. Angle of attack indicator up here. Okay, let's turn off our flight plan here. We can zoom into our plane a little bit. Okay, here comes top of descent. So we should start descending. And if you go into flight plan mode, it should show up over here. Top of descent, a few seconds away here. That's where it shows it. Alright, there we go. Why are we pointed sideways, you might ask? This is one of the newer bugs with it. The rudder trim starts off way off. That's why I had trouble with it. I've forgotten about that. Oh. Okay, there we go. Now it'll straighten up. I'm like, why is it sideways? Like, is there a really stiff wind here or what? You think the autopilot would use the trim, but nope, it doesn't. That's okay. Okay, so here we go. Alright, now we want to arm our approach mode. What? We can't arm our approach mode? Nav. Why can't we arm approach mode? Okay, there we go, I think. So this green dot's now the vertical path marker, and we have our center line here. Something went wrong though. It didn't catch. Uh-oh. Let's get flaps out. Okay, there we go. Now we captured the glide slope. A little more flaps, a lot more power. And now I think full flaps. This plane can go pretty slow. I think we actually want our approach to be about 74, 75. So I'm slowing down here. It's so sensitive to the throttle. And then we can go autopilot off. Whoa, what'd you do that for? Ah, stuttering. Ah, stuttering. Okay, there we go. I think there must be something about going into ground effect that suddenly uses a lot of CPU or something. It's the only thing I can think of. All right. So that's the Kodiak. I've done a lot of flying around in that plane. Okay, now there's a plane I have not flown very much. And I rated it a little lower, not too low. It's the Honda Jet here. It is considerably faster than the Vision Jet at cruise, that's for sure. So if you like the little jet thing, I think it's a pretty good option if you want to get places faster. I hope that they add it for career mode eventually, so you can maybe use it for similar missions to as the Vision Jet, or maybe even like a step up.
Aganya Tower, Summit Delta Sierra Charlie 66 at runway 6 left, ready for departure. Departure to the east.
But like, this feels so cramped. Like, there's just not as good a visibility. Is one thing I think, and I don't know. The avionics just don't feel quite as finished. Like they look a little like, I don't know, cheesy, a little cheesy or something. Like these are basically the same, I think. And there's a couple things like I think like this is one, really just one unit. Like everything you do on one happens on the other. This doesn't really sync anything, but it does have sync all from sim. I guess that's kind of nice. You can do your system tests. So your fire test. It'll do like shaker. Pilot and co-pilot. Switch illuminations. Weight balance fuel, I think we already entered all that. Sync from sim. Speed bugs all on. Get from sim. Bloop. That's kind of nice. Accept initialization. Flight plan, it's already got our flight plan. We can do, it's already got, like it picked ILS, okay. So let's just climb to 2000 and go to Harlow instead of flying a full path here. So 2000. I think one other thing, does this have? Okay, it's got your anti-ice and stuff down here. I didn't like the way the speed brakes work. There they go. So those are kind of on or off, but you do have a speed brake. I don't know, just something about it I don't like as much as the Vision Jet. Let's go and get in the air. And like I said, part of it is just, it feels so cramped and the windows are so small. And again, we have that headset effect on, so we're not hearing the engines. Let's turn that off for now. We know it works. Gear up. Flaps. And it is hauling. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're way blowing past our altitude. I've noticed a lot of planes do this. If you're trying to autopilot up to a low altitude, they just blow through it. It's probably user error, I would think. I'll go ahead and tell it to descend. We should be able to go manual speed. Okay, that's a bit much, my friend. I don't want to go that fast. There we go. Yeah, go Mach 0.73 here, 2,000 feet on approach. Okay, here's Harlow. We're gonna go direct Harlow in a minute. Let's turn out first. Do something of a teardrop here. See, let's bring up this panel here. Direct, activate, nav. Okay, I right-clicked on this to get it into knots, finally. Tried it before, it didn't work. Okay, we're gonna go first notch of flaps. do like the Garmin system. I think this is a pretty good interface. Like if I want to change procedures, I can do that here. Like, it's pretty easy to use.
Vertical track.
Okay, now will it arm? Sorry, I'm hitting the wrong button. Approach, there it is. Localizer's armed. Okay, localizer's captured. Glide slope is armed. We're still below the glide slope, so
Vertical track.
we should hold at 2000 until we hit the glide slope and then start descending.
Vertical track.
We'll get our gear and flaps down here. I think that's all the flaps we do. 2. 3 greens on the gear. Okay, let's start slowing down.
1000.
I think we should have done... Where's perf? I don't know. We're just gonna play it by ear. Probably more than that. Let's do 110. Okay, we're holding on the glide slope here. We're good on the localizer. We look good. I just don't know what our stall speed is. There's some stuff I should have done in here. There we go. Okay. So we're a little low. Yeah, about 105 there. And now we can focus on the landing part.
$500.
We look high. I don't know.
400.
Guess we're okay. A little high.
300. 200. Autopilot. 100.
Oh, can't see. Guess we can deploy speed brakes or something. Whew, okay. Yeah, so it's not too bad. 3.5 stars, not bad. Maybe 4. I don't know, if you've flown it very much, let me know what you think. That is the Honda Jet. Alright, next up is another small plane. The Archer 2. Carenado, P828-181 Archer 2. It's got some different tail numbers. I don't know what the difference between them are. I don't know if there's any difference other than cosmetic. Flies a lot like the other small planes. It's fixed gear, so no worrying about is gear down. When I'm playing like longitudes or whatever, or PC-24s a lot, I don't have any problem with gear. But when I'm going back and forth and I'm playing fixed gear and then retractable gear and fixed gear, retractable gear, then I'll forget to bring my gear up sometimes. I mean, put my gear down sometimes. A few times I've forgotten to bring it up as well. Like I'll take off and just forget about it. And I'm like, why won't my plane go over 200 miles an hour, 200 knots? Come on, Microsoft, load. I've only got like an hour, 45 minutes left. Then I'm gonna take a break.
Agana Tower, Summit Delta Sierra Charlie 66 at runway 6 left ready for departure. Departure to the east.
This is what I mean by make it look a little aged, but maybe not this aged. Door switch. Cabin lighting. But yeah, I like this one. It's got the old school. Let's see what else we can do here. Similar to the other ones. Fairings on or off. That's cool. So, fairings over the wheel here. Get rid of those guys. Same options here. And checklists. Okay. So unfortunately, can't reconfigure the panel. Okay, fixed RPM, but we can see RPMs here. Mixture throttle, we can set our, we're already on 1103, so we can just dial this into 65. I don't think this will do anything, because I think it's on the wrong, I think this is the 80th. See what that does. There we go. And I'm guessing no DME, right? Need to make a note of that here. We have VOR with GS, but no DME. So the way I always fly these, I just put the dashboard near the horizon. That's like my basic climb. Fixed gear, so nothing to do with the gear. Wait for some speed. Flaps up. I don't think we even had flaps down. Trim it out a little. So, hard rudder left. So you can see we're sliding around real hard here. Well, not as hard as we should be, probably. So if we go hard rudder right, it's like a roller coaster here. Okay, there's our glide slope coming up. And we'll want to turn fairly hard, but not too hard. Now we're losing a lot of altitude. There's our localizer coming up. Yeah, we missed it. Come in from this side. Bleeding off some speed. There comes our glide slope. So we'll start our descent about 500 feet per minute. Bleed off some speed, get some flaps out. That'll do it real fast. Bring in some power. Not that much. Alrighty, there we go. And there comes the ground stutter. Man, that is terrible. Okay. It's not too shabby. Little Piper. Gives you some low wing aircraft time there instead of the high wing, like most of the Cessnas. All of the Cessnas? I don't know. My buddy out in California trains in that plane, so he's working on getting his license. Alright, and last but not least, there's the Blackbird Simulations PC6 Porter, as opposed to the PC6 Porter that comes in the game. I don't know why. I just thought it would be fun. And it's a tail dragger, but it also has float versions. Standard tires, Tundra tires. go with Tundra tires, analog, instruments like this is floats and glass. So you get a variety of options there. It does have some different liveries too. And I like the PC-12 and the PC-24 a lot, and I kind of want to get the PC... Oh, what is it? It's the jet... it's a trainer. I think it's a turboprop trainer that's out. I'd kind of like to get that one, so... And yeah, PC-6 is a tail dragger. Kind of famous bush plane. So I'd kind of like to get better at flying it. Oh, I think this is the skydive version. Okay, so we're probably gonna have skydivers in the back.
Agani Tower, Summit Delta Sierra Charlie 66, ready for east departure at runway 6 left.
Maybe not. Main fuel valve, your lights and starters are over here. Basic instruments, should be pretty easy to fly if you're familiar with it. We got ADF, we got autopilot, this has Garmin in it. No DME per se, of course you can sort of do that here. What warnings we have here? Aux fuel pump. Aux fuel pump is off or on? I guess it was on. Alright, we got torque. We got percent RPM. Fuel flow. Let's get our course dialed in. We'll put this on. VLOC 1103 is already in there. I think this even looks like it has probably that approach loaded. Yeah, ILS 06. Transition. OBEL preferably. Of course, you can put this down here and you get kind of that simple nav view. Okay, so that put this in. So we should get localizer, glide slope. We should get distance here, but it's not quite the same as DME. And let's try the sound thing. Sound. Headphones, let's see if it works. Yeah, I think it did. Man, I want a key binding for that so bad. Really good visibility. I thought these went up. Yeah, there you go. There we go. Let's see, your parking brake is over here. It's this weird little thing. Trap door? What trap door? I think we're rolling. Woo. Oh, I forgot I took the parking brake off. All right, here we go. I just don't understand why they think they have to wiggle so much. Like, okay, so I'm dialing up 2,000 feet on the autopilot over there. Dial in the heading bug here, see if we can get a... Yep, it's turning the heading bug. So we're gonna want to go roughly that way. And we can activate the autopilot and go into heading mode. We could go vertical speed mode. Climb to 2,000. I have only ever flown this plane by hand, so I'm kind of curious how it'll do on an approach like that. So can we... Okay, so we've got VOR2 down here. So I think you just have to know that altitude from your charts. So if we look at our charts for 6 left, right, ILS 6 left, it's actually 63, not 65, and it is 1103, that is correct. And 2,000 feet at Harlow, right? We're supposed to come in at 3,000 at DME 10.5, then descend down to 2,000 and catch the ILS. So, been technically doing it wrong. And we're going to do it wrong again because we're going to go direct to... nope. No. No. I swear this works different than other ones. But, okay, we'll go with that. So, Harlow. We'll wait till we get out past Harlow here. Here comes our 2,000. And let's see, it's 63, not 65, not that it really matters. And then nav mode. Nothing. Nav mode? Nav mode was on. I don't know what the heading should be. I guess we'll just go about there until we intercept the localizer here. That's gonna put us in front of Harlow though, I think. Can we... So approach is armed, glide slope is armed. I think it's gonna miss it. Kind of helping it there. I don't know. Okay, approach locked. And now we need the glide slope. So how can we get on the glide slope here? There we go. Getting the flaps out. Okay. Now we just cruise in. We're on that 400 to 500 feet per minute descent. I'm not seeing, well, I don't know, maybe this is locked in. I didn't see if it activated, or I wasn't paying attention to it before. But hopefully that would be your backup glide slope indicator. So this headset really kills the noise. Oh, look, DME over here, actually. I didn't see it before. We do have it. Great, 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 great. Ah, I was trying to get a little slower before I touched down. That is reverse. So we do have prop reverse on this one, so we can stop without pitching forward, I guess. Warning, set correct trim before takeoff. Yeah, I don't think I did that either. Alright, well that's good to know that that has DME as well. I'm trying to note which planes have what capabilities. And alright, that is the end of the story for today. I might be back later, I don't know yet. See how it goes, because I'd like to do, well, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. It's getting kind of late. So I will bid you adieu for now. Good night. Arrivederci.